What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the FJ200. So welcome one and all to another kit review brought to us by our friends over at Wismec and Sinuous. They're the ones that gave this thing to me for the purpose of making this video, so I wanted to give them a shout out and show them some love. But anyways, this is a pretty interesting little device. Basically what it is a slightly slimmed down Predator where they fixed a whole bunch of different issues that people had with it. So it has a built-in 4600 milliamp hour battery, which I've been digging a lot because it's portable power. You know, there's nothing better than not having to worry about bringing extra batteries anywhere. If you want to charge this thing on the go, all you need is a simple micro USB cable. So taking a quick look online, this is available in 4 different color options. You have red, black, blue, and bronze. I, of course, have the red version, as you can see here, and they all have these silver sort of side panels. The fire button and the opposite side are both silver on all different options. So I was able to find this thing for around $50 online for the kit. Now, I've seen tanks go for $50, and with this one here, you not only get the tank, but you also get the mod as well. So I think that is a stellar deal if you ask me. It's going to be great for anyone that's looking to get into vaping and maybe doesn't want to go with the stick style battery or something like that. Maybe wants a little bit more power to it. So with that, I think that is an incredible deal. If you want to grab that for yourself, then I'll leave links right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see, we've got our FJ200 in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what's inside. So first and foremost, we have a lovely picture of the device on front with the FJ200 and Wismec logo in this nice little shiny emboss. You can see the shininess there. We have a embossed Wismec logo, an embossed FJ200 logo, and a Wismec.com up top there. Another Sinuous logo on this side here as well. And on the back, we have our pretty basic information. You know, we've seen this a million times. What it includes, the color indication, scratch-off authentication thing, UPC, and company information. So there you go. Taking a look inside, we are greeted with a lovely red mod, as you can see here. Of course, color may vary. Taking that out and putting that aside for right now, we have pretty basic information here. Basically just some safety precaution cards. And this one is a battery hazard card. Do not use if batteries are torn. Well, you don't have to use batteries with this one here because it's all built in. Weird. Anyways, we have our divider tank here. This is the divider tank that it comes with the kit there. Now this is the TPD compliance little plug. So this turns it from a 4 mil tank down to a 2 mil tank, which is of course TPD compliant, but you can remove it. So that kind of just goes right out the window when you do that. There's your spare glass piece. We have a spare coil as well. This is the standard Alabo, looks like the 0.2, I believe, coil. Spare set of red O-rings, which is nice that they include something matchy-matchy. We have, the USB cable, of course. You have to have a USB cable in the box. And then you have your, what is this? Fold-out guide of some description here. It's basically the tank manual. So this is the tank manual. Well, it's fold-out, so -5 points there. And then you have your typical instruction manual, user manual thing here, which is a nice booklet form with some graphics. Still a bit wordy, but overall fairly pleasant. There's only a couple of pages to read if you want to read up on your brand new FJ200. Alright guys, let's run through the specs for the FJ200. Fits 28mm and smaller tanks, spring-loaded 510 contact pin, centered 510 connector, built-in battery capacity of 4600 milliamp hours, working wattage 1 to 200 watts, temp control with nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and TCR mode supported, temp control 100 to 315 Celsius, 200 to 600 Fahrenheit, resistance is 0.1 to 3.5 ohms in wattage mode, and 0.05 to 1.5 ohms in temperature control mode. It is a stealth function, preheat function, a 1.3-inch OLED display screen, hidden side fire button, micro USB charging port, dual circuit protection, short circuit protection, and low voltage protection as well. And for the specs for the divider sub-ohm tank: it's 28 millimeters in diameter, it's 510 threaded, 2 mil e-liquid capacity or 4 mil max capacity without pre-installed silicone plug, glass tank, retractable top fill design, dual airflow slots, adjustable airflow control, Wismec triple and NS triple atomizer heads for variable wattage. It includes one Wismec WSO1 triple point 2 atomizer head designed for 40 to 80 watts and one Wismec WSO2 triple point 25 atomizer head designed for 40 to 120 watts. And last but not least, it's 510 drip tip compatible. So if you've ever owned a Wismec mod in the past, you probably already configured this thing out, but it's basically just 5 clicks on and off. There we go. As you can see, it instantly turns on there. To change the mode, you can just click the button 3 times and then press the power up button right here to change the different modes. You can go from TCR, temp control, back to wattage. And basically, if you want to turn stealth mode on and off, you just press the fire button and the down power button. Press and hold there for a few seconds, then it turns stealth on. Same thing to turn it off, just press and hold just like that. And if you want to enter the preheat menu function, all you have to do is press and hold the fire button with the up power button. So pretty easy operations for this device here. And then you can select how many seconds and what wattage you want it to fire at, etc., etc. So pretty darn cool if you ask me. And then just exit back to the menu just like that. There's your charging board right there. You can plug it into charge, and it also supports 2 amp charging, which is great. This thing charges really quickly. And I did want to show you guys a comparison to the actual Predator itself, because these things are pretty much like brothers, if you will. Slightly slimmed down from the original Predator, as you can see here. It's also a little bit thinner as well. And one thing they did that was really good in my opinion is they moved the 510 connection from the side to the center. So now you have a centered 510 connection, and it also has this little lip around the top here, which is built into the actual body of the device. So there's no way for this 510 pin to actually pull out at all. So that is definitely an improvement over the Predator device, as you can see there. But otherwise, very similar in form and function. So real quick, let's just break this divider sub-ohm tank down and show you all the parts. First of all, the drip tip up top here. This is a nice little Delrin drip tip that it comes with. It is friction fit, and it really sticks in there really good, as you can see there. Yeah, no problems with this whatsoever. It does have a little angle on the top piece here, which, is a little bit unusual, I guess, but you kind of get used to it after a while. And there you can see the bore right down the middle, nice and wide. No complaints there whatsoever. Doesn't heat up, doesn't fall out. It's a good tip in my book, so there you go. Moving on to the top piece of the tank, we have this little arrow here, which is where you push to open her up just like that, and that's where you fill it, right in that hole there. No complaints about filling this device whatsoever. You can pretty much get a glass stripper in there, but I would still recommend a unicorn bottle if you have one available to you. And then taking this top piece off, you can see the thickness of the glass. This glass is really nice and thick and chunky, which I love. For all you clumsy people out there that break their glass all the time, this one might be a good option for you, because I don't think you could break that glass even if you tried. But there you go. And then we have the bottom piece here with the coil sitting on it. And these coils are okay. I've never really had a major problem with them. They don't leak or spit or anything like that. I mean, they're kind of average, but other than that, there you go. We have 2 different coil options here. Right now I'm using the 0.2. There's also the 0.25, which is, I believe, rated a little bit higher, and it has these little mesh bits on the top there, as you can see. Taking the coil out, you can see the bottom piece, that little pin in there. I really like the matching O-rings. I thought that was a nice touch by Wismec there, and you can see the airflow section at the bottom here, fully closable. You can go all the way open or closed, which is nice because it also has that stopper piece, which is great. I like to know when my airflow is open or closed, and that's one way they do that. So you can fully close it just like that, and then fully open it just like that. Nice and wide airflow. Really no complaints in that department whatsoever there. And you can see the bottom with the little laser engraved divider and Wismec logo. and the 510 pin. So there you have it. That's the close-up section for the FJ200. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is the compact design. Now, I for one really like the fact that this thing has a built-in battery just because there's less moving parts, which means less things to break on it. You don't have to make room for a battery door or a battery sled or anything like that. It's all just built into this one slightly smaller package, and for me, that's definitely a win. My second pro today is the big bright screen. Now, me and Wismec screens go back a long ways, and we have a bit of a checkered history together, but with that, this one is the same screen as the RX Gen 3, which I really enjoyed, so this one here definitely gets a pro in my book. I really like that the information is a little bit more spread out, and it has a little bit more room on there so you can see it just that much better when you're just taking a glance at your wattage or something like that. Definitely a good thing in my book. My third pro today is that it has decent battery life. Now, I know what you're thinking, this thing only has 4,600 milliamps. How could that ever compete with something like a dual 18650 with much more than that? Well, for me personally, the way I vape on this thing, it definitely is appropriate. I get a full day below 100 watts vaping. Usually I'll stick a tank on top of this one or an RDTA where I'm vaping below 100 watts. If I'm planning on vaping above 100 watts, then I have to be prepared and make sure I can charge it somewhere because I'm not going to get the full entire day out of it. But if you are planning on using this thing above 100 watts regularly, then I would suggest the RX Gen 3 instead. My fourth pro today is the price. Now, I don't get to talk about the price very often when it comes to Wismec because usually they're kind of on par, but with this one here, I did find it for $50 for the entire kit, which I think is a steal. So for you out there that are looking for something, maybe an upgrade to a pen style battery or something like that, you want a little bit more power without sacrificing too much on the size department, this is definitely going to be a great option for you. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that I'm not too crazy about the up and down buttons. Now, personally, I really didn't have a problem with the Predator up and down function buttons at all, so I'm really not sure why they changed it on this version here. But with this one here, you get these kind of C shapes instead that are pretty much flush with the faceplate here, and it becomes a little bit difficult to press at times. It's really no sort of tactile feeling to it. You can't really identify the buttons without just staring at the device itself. So for that, I'm going to have to mark it down a point. My second con today is that it comes with yet another Wismec tank. Now, honestly, Wismec are not known for their tank technology, and this is no exception to that whatsoever. It's just another Alabo variation. It uses the same Alabo coils that we've seen time and time again on this channel, and this one, besides the top fill method, which I really like, is just nothing new. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just another one for the collection. If you needed a backup tank or something like that, then it's going to be great for you, but honestly, I'm going to take it off and leave it on the shelf to collect some dust. My third con today is the green light. Now, I have no idea what was going on in the heads of the people over at Wismec when they decided to slap a green LED on the sides of this thing. It serves no purpose whatsoever. It looks a little bit ugly, and it's almost more annoying than it is good. I was really hoping that it would be some sort of battery life indicator. Maybe it would turn yellow at 50% and red at 20% or something like that. But no, it stays green the entire time, and it just looks ugly. It definitely clashes with the red color as far as I'm concerned, and honestly, I could do without it. And my fourth and final con for this device is the fact that the color options are a bit subpar in my opinion. Now, I realize that this is very subjective and it's not going to apply to everyone out there, but I just really feel like they could use some more modern, funky sort of colors, whereas what you get with this one here is just kind of something toned down and bland. So even the RX Gen 3 has that lime green option, which I absolutely love, and I definitely think that this thing could use a little bit of a facelift. Other than that, the only other complaint I have is these silver panels here just tend to clash and really don't go along with the overall kind of theme of this one here. If they put those in a black paint scheme, then I think that would look a lot better in my opinion. Again, it has nothing to do with the functionality and it is a bit subjective, but hey, that's just my opinion. Alright guys, so is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? And my answer is going to be yes, but only just barely. Now, I really feel like the $50 price tag is worth it just for the mod by itself. I could really live without the tank. It does nothing special for me, and like I said, it's probably just going to sit back there collecting dust. But other than that, if you're upgrading from a tube-style device and you want a full-blown mod, then this would definitely be a good way to go. I think $50 for a full kit is definitely a good deal, and if you want to grab one of these for yourself, I'll leave links right down there in the description. Alright guys, so that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about this FJ200 or anything else you guys want to hear about. Also, make sure you check out the description of this video. That's where you're going to find the advocacy and my social media info. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on!